In a world of fleeting fame, one woman rewrote the rules. She turned heartbreak into billion-dollar anthems. She outsmarted the music industry. She united millions in a cultural revolution. This is the electrifying true story of Taylor Swift, the girl who conquered the world. Buckle up. Over the next 90 minutes, we'll race through her triumphs, her tears, her genius. From a Christmas tree farm in Pennsylvania to sold-out stadiums on every continent. This is Taylor Alison Swift. And her story? It's just getting started. On December 13th, 1989, in Wyomissing, Pennsylvania, not Wyoming Heights, as some might misremember, a baby girl is born on her family's Christmas tree farm. Her parents, Scott Kingsley Swift, a stockbroker for Merrill Lynch, and Andrea Gardner Swift, a former mutual fund marketing executive, name her Taylor after the folk singer James Taylor, whose gentle melodies filled their home. Little do they know, this child, growing up alongside her younger brother Austin, born in 1992, is about to become one of the most influential musicians in history. The farm life instills in her a sense of wonder. Riding horses, competing in equestrian events, and even performing at local fairs by age 10. But it's her grandmother, Marjorie Finlay, a professional opera singer, who sparks the fire. Taylor recalls watching old videos of her grandmother on stage, dreaming of that spotlight. By age 5, she's belting out show tunes to the family's goats and chickens, her voice echoing across the pine trees. At 9, she's entering karaoke contests, covering Leanne Rimes and the Chicks, honing a talent that's raw but undeniable. Pennsylvania's quiet suburbs feel too small for her ambitions. She starts writing her own songs, simple poems set to music, capturing the innocence of childhood crushes and dreams. At 11, after a trip to Nashville where she hands out demos door to door on Music Row, she declares to her parents, "I want Nashville." Her mom, seeing the determination, sells the farm. They pack up everything, the family, the dreams, and relocate to Hendersonville, Tennessee, just outside Music City. Taylor attends Hendersonville High School, but soon switches to homeschooling through Aaron Academy to chase her career. It's a bold move in the early 2000s, when country music is dominated by established stars like Shania Twain and Faith Hill, whom Taylor idolizes for blending pop flair with country roots. In 2003, an 11-year-old with a guitar and zero fear hits the streets of Nashville. She's busking at cafes, performing at open mics, and handing out homemade demos to anyone who'll listen, record executives, wait staff, even strangers in coffee shops. Rejections? Hundreds pile up. Doors slammed in her face, labels saying she's too young, too pop for country. But Taylor thrives on the nose. They fuel her. She lands a development deal with RCA Records at 13, but it's short-lived. She walks away when they want to hold her back until she's older. Instead, she catches the eye of Scott Borchetta at a showcase in the legendary Bluebird Cafe. In June 2004, boom! At just 14, Taylor signs with Big Machine Records, Borchetta's new label, becoming the youngest songwriter ever hired by Sony ATV Music Publishing. She writes every day, collaborating with veterans like Liz Rose, turning personal stories into hits. Her debut single, Tim McGraw, released in June 2006, is inspired by a high school boyfriend heading to college. It's not just a song about the country star Tim McGraw, but a nostalgic ode to young love and summer nights. It climbs to number 6 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart, announcing her arrival. In October 2006, her self-titled debut album, Taylor Swift, drops. Recorded in Nashville studios amid her homeschooling sessions, it's a fresh take on country, blending twangy guitars with pop hooks and deeply personal lyrics about teenage life. Tracks like Our Song, which she wrote for a school talent show, become her first number 1 on country radio, making her the youngest artist to write and perform a chart-topper solo. Country radio explodes with this 16-year-old phenom topping the charts. Teens scream her name at early shows. Critics initially scoff, calling her just a pretty face, or questioning if a teen can capture country's depth. Oh, how wrong they were. The album sells over 5 million copies, earning platinum status multiple times. In 2007, she wins the Horizon Award from the Country Music Association and Top New Female Vocalist from the Academy of Country Music. She opens for giants like Tim McGraw and Faith Hill on their Soul to Soul tour, learning the ropes of arena performances. But fame brings scrutiny. Her squeaky clean image draws both adoration and doubt. By 2008, the world truly changes with her sophomore album, Fearless, released in November. Drawing from her high school experiences and first heartbreaks, it's a coming-of-age masterpiece that blurs country and pop lines. Love Story, a modern Romeo and Juliet tale with a happy ending, flips fairy tales on their head and becomes her first top 5 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. You Belong With Me, every awkward girl's battle cry against the cheerleader trope, resonates worldwide. The album sells 12 million copies globally, debuting at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and staying there for 11 non-consecutive weeks. At the 2010 Grammys, it wins Album of the Year, making Taylor the youngest recipient ever at 20. But fame's double-edged sword slashes deep. In summer 2008, she dates Joe Jonas of the Jonas Brothers. Their breakup, reportedly over a 27-second phone call, inspires Forever and Always. Heartbreak fuels her fire. Taylor turns 19, channeling pain into art. She's unstoppable, but the media starts labeling her a serial dater, a tag that haunts her for years. Faith Hill once said of her entry into country music, "She walked into country like a hurricane. We all just held on tight." And hold on, they did. The Fearless Tour, launching in April 2009 and running through 111 shows until July 2010, grosses $63 million and sells out arenas across North America, Asia, and Australia. She's not just singing hits, she's building an empire, connecting with fans through meet and greets and surprise acoustic sets. One Swiftie at a time, she fosters a loyal army that feels seen in her lyrics. But shadows loom as fame intensifies. In late 2009, she briefly dates singer John Mayer, 12 years her senior. The relationship ends bitterly, inspiring the scathing "Dear John" with lines like, "Don't you think I was too young to be messed with?" Mayer later calls it cheap songwriting, but the media feasts on the drama. Serial dater, headlines scream, painting her as boy crazy rather than the artist turning personal turmoil into gold. Taylor responds by penning harder, hitting bigger, refusing to let the noise drown her voice. In October 2010, Speak Now arrives, all 14 tracks written solely by Taylor over 2 years, a 1,000-day pour of her soul. It's her response to critics questioning her songwriting. Back to December, is a rare apology to ex-Taylor Lautner met on the set of the 2010 film Valentine's Day. Mean is a smackdown to bullies and doubters, winning her Grammys for Best Country Song and Best Country Solo Performance. The album sells 1 million copies in its first week, a rare feat. The Speak Now World Tour from February 2011 to March 2012 spans 199 shows across Asia, Europe, North America, and Australia, featuring dramatic sets with pyramids and the Eiffel Tower projected, grossing $123 million. At 21, she's a global icon, but vultures circle. The defining moment? September 13th, 2009, at the MTV Video Music Awards. As Taylor accepts for You Belong With Me, Kanye West storms the stage. I'ma let you finish, but Beyoncé had one of the best videos of all time. The world gasps. Taylor, stunned at 19, handles it with grace. She later said, "I was just stunned, but it made me stronger." On Speak Now, Innocent addresses Kanye directly, offering forgiveness while asserting her truth. She forgives, but never forgets. Speak Now cements it. Taylor Swift doesn't break. She evolves, using controversy to deepen her artistry. In October 2012, Red explodes onto the scene, her first overt flirtation with pop. Collaborating with Max Martin and Shellback, pop hitmakers, she edges away from country twang. We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together becomes her first Hot 100 #1, topping charts in 50 countries with its sassy breakup vibe. The Jake Gyllenhaal-inspired All Too Well, originally over 10 minutes long, captures raw heartbreak, the scarf metaphor becoming iconic. Years later, the full version breaks the internet. But Big Machine pushes back on the pop shift. Label execs say, "Go pop or go home." Taylor? She goes nuclear, blending genres defiantly. Red sells 1.2 million in its first week, the fastest-selling country album ever. The Red Tour, from March 2013 to June 2014, grosses $150 million over 86 shows. Amid this, she's dating Harry Styles of One Direction in late 2012. An infamous snowmobile crash inspires Out of the Woods later. Media frenzy peaks, but Taylor plots her masterstroke, drawing inspiration from Pablo Neruda's poetry on love and forgetting. Jack Antonoff, her frequent producer, reflected on Red. Red was her lab. Experimenting, exploding, genius. It polarizes fans, too pop for country purists, but sets the stage for her reinvention. In October 2014, 1,989 drops. Goodbye Cowboy Hat, hello, full pop domination. Named after her birth year, it's a love letter to 80s synth pop, recorded in secret amid media scrutiny. Shake It Off silences haters with its upbeat defiance, debuting at #1. Blank Space owns the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend label, satirizing her tabloid image. The album sells 1.287 million first week, spends 11 weeks at #1, and wins her second Grammy Album of the Year in 2016, the first woman to do so twice. The 1989 World Tour, May to December 2015, hits 86 shows, grossing $250 million. Sydney Harbour lights up with fireworks. London's Big Ben seems to bow as she performs to 76,000 at Hyde Park. At 25, Forbes dubs her nearly the youngest billionaire in music. But drama detonates, dating DJ Calvin Harris from March 2015 to June 2016, then actor Tom Hiddleston briefly that summer. Paparazzi photos fuel Hiddle Swift mania. Her squad of friends, including Selena Gomez and Carly Kloss, becomes a symbol of female empowerment, but whispers of feuds begin. Then, Kanye strikes again in February 2016 with Famous. I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous. Taylor denounces it. Kim Kardashian releases edited phone call snippets, painting Taylor as approving. Twitter erupts. Snake emojis flood her socials, sides chosen in a feud fracturing pop culture. In 2016, silence descends. She vanishes from the spotlight, focusing on a sexual assault trial against DJ David Mueller, who groped her in 2013. She sues for $1 symbolic and wins in August 2017, donating proceeds to victims' causes. The message? Don't mess with Taylor. It empowers survivors worldwide. November 2017 brings Reputation, her darkest reinvention. Snakes everywhere, embracing the villain label. Look what you made me do samples right, said Fred, declaring the old Taylor dead. It sells 1.216 million first week. Ready for it? Pulses with adrenaline. The Reputation Stadium Tour, May to November 2018, fills 53 stadiums, grossing $345 million. Rain pours in Seattle, but she owns the storm. Amid chaos, she finds love with British actor Joe Alwyn, met at the 2016 Met Gala. They date secretly from 2016 to 2023, co-writing under pseudonym William Bowery. Joe later says, "She's a force. I just try to keep up." Reputation redeems her, building a $1 billion empire. But her eyes turn to the real enemy, Scooter Braun, who buys Big Machine in 2019, acquiring her masters without her input. She calls it her worst-case scenario, vowing to re-record. August 2019. Lover arrives, a rainbow-hued celebration. Pride flags wave in "You Need to Calm Down," an LGBTQ+ anthem advocating equality. Her first overt political statement. Tracks like "The Man" critique gender double standards. It sells 867,000 first week, her sixth number one. A planned Loverfest tour is cancelled by COVID-19, which crashes in early 2020. Isolation becomes Taylor's muse. In July 2020, Folklore drops as a surprise. No promo, just ethereal indie folk crafted in quarantine with Aaron Dessner and Jack Antonoff. Number one instantly. Cardigan weaves fictional tales. Exile with Bon Iver haunts with duet heartbreak. It wins Album of the Year at the 2021 Grammys, her third. December 2020 brings sister album Evermore. 16 tracks of pandemic poetry like Champagne Problems and Marjorie, honoring her grandmother. She's 31, married to her craft, exploring escapism and unhappy endings. Bon Iver reflects, "She sent exile at 2 a.m. perfect. She's a wizard." 2021 ignites the re-recording war. April, Fearless, Taylor's version, with vault tracks like Mr. Perfectly Fine. November, Red, Taylor's version, featuring the 10-minute All Too Well, a short film starring Sadie Sink and Dylan O'Brien, goes viral, 31 million streams in a day. Big Machine had sold her masters to Braun for $300 million, then to Shamrock Holdings. Taylor's battle cry? You Wouldn't Like Me re-recorded. Fans stream the new versions, ditching originals. Taylor wins ownership on her terms. July 2023. Speak Now, Taylor's version. October 2023. 1989, Taylor's version. Masters reclaimed, mostly. Her relationship with Joe ends in April 2023. Briefly dates Matty Healy that May. March 2023 launches the Eras Tour, a 3.5-hour spectacle celebrating all albums. 152 shows through December 2024, grossing over $2 billion, the highest ever, breaking Guinness records. Rio de Janeiro swelters at 100 degrees. She delivers flawlessly. Economies boom in host cities. The Taylor Swift effect. The concert film, Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, grosses $261 million. Amid this, Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs tight end, enters in July 2023 after shouting her out on his podcast for a failed friendship bracelet attempt at her show. They go public in September. She attends 12 Chiefs games. He joins her on stage in London, June 2024. Travis says, she's the one. Stadiums? Just date night. April 2024. The Tortured Poets Department, a double album with 31 tracks. Matty Healy and Joe Alwyn heartbreaks fuel raw rage and rhyme. Fortnight with Post Malone, The Alchemy, nodding to Travis. #1 in 47 countries, 2.6 million first week, biggest ever. But Daddy I Love Him defends her choices. It's confessional grief through 5 stages. 2024 closes the Eras chapter. Vienna shows cancelled due to terror threats, but Vancouver finale unites fans. Time names her 2023 Person of the Year. Forbes confirms billionaire status at $1.1 billion, rising to $1.6 billion by 2025 from music alone. 2025 dawns with triumph. May 30th. She buys back her first 6 masters outright. Full control at last. Streams surge for classics. Summer merch drops inspire fans. Her bond with Ed Sheeran strengthens, reminiscing collaborations. August. Engagement to Travis Kelce announced via joint Instagram. Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married. Fans erupt. She shares iPhone wallpapers of each other. August 12th at 12:12, she announces her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl. Written during Eras's European leg, produced with Max Martin and Shellback, it's upbeat pop. 12 tracks like The Fate of Ophelia, Elizabeth Taylor, and title track featuring Sabrina Carpenter. Themes? Offstage tour life, exhaustion, joy, fame's price, romantic balance. Released October 3rd, with theatrical release party October 3rd to 5th showcasing videos and behind the scenes. No tour yet, but whispers of more. Opalite nods to Travis. Actually, romantic sparks buzz. She's 35 now. Political force. Her endorsements spike voter registration 300%. Philanthropy. Over $100 million to education, disaster relief, assault victims. Net worth? $1.6 billion, but her real power is connection. Swifties, 300 million strong, a global sisterhood. She taught us, heartbreak heals, haters fuel. Write your truth. Friends reflect. Ed Sheeran calls her the greatest storyteller alive. A fan shares, changed my life, saved my life. Selena Gomez, genius, relentless, kind. As October 2025 unfolds, what's next? Midnights, Taylor's version, a film directorial debut? Taylor Swift doesn't predict. She creates, from Tree Farm Dreamer to Empire Architect. She didn't just make music. She made history. She made us believe. As the final note fades, remember, in Taylor's world, every villain gets a verse, every hero gets a chorus, and every fan gets a kingdom. Taylor Swift, not just a superstar, the phenomenon that rewrote fame.